The Cubs are struggling at the major league level, but we go down on the farm and highlight pitching prospects and one in particular. Find out who it is next.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Please support the show and be a part of the Locked On Cubs community, because that's what we are here, by following on your preferred audio platform. And you can watch, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you. On all things Cubs. Today's Thursday episode is presented by Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB, and when you enter promo code LockedOnMLB, they'll throw in a free custom Bird Dogs Yeti-style tumbler with every order. Well, starting with this episode, Sam, we're going to start to look ahead. And whether that's looking ahead at possible moves the Cubs could make, whether that's possible additions, subtractions, and then, of course, down on the farm. And we start that in a pretty exciting way, because we're going to talk about some pitching prospects. And there's one in particular in Cade Horton that's just lighting up the stat sheet right now.
Yeah, Cade Horton in a season, and we'll get to another disaster but in LA, but this should be the lead for the show, because I'm going to say right now, what is it, June 7th?
Yeah.
June 7th. So people will be listening June 8th?
Right.
On June 8th, if you're listening to this show, I'm saying it right now. I'm going early. This is the best Chicago Cubs pitching prospect since Mark Pryor, and it's not close.
Wow.
It's not close. It is not close. Now, granted, that's not saying much. They haven't really had many pitching prospects.
They haven't had too many, no.
But this guy is legit, and a lot of people were wondering, did they reach or did they not? You know, this is the guy, Matt, I've been telling you about that they need. Misses bats every time. He struck out. He had I think it was a 48.7% of his pitches today were either called strikes or swings and misses.
Yeah, he got 20 swings and misses.
His stuff is really legit, and I almost want to say with him, it's going to be two obstacles. Number one, every young pitcher that throws hard, you worry about his arm. Hopefully, he can avoid major injury. And number two is he's extremely slow to the plate. He will have to work on that before he comes to the big league level. Guys can steal bases on him easily. But the actual stuff, you might see him. What's PCA right now? He's in the top 15 easily nationally, right? And he also
just got in the top 15, yeah.
Yeah. You may see Cade Horton skyrocket up there maybe before the season ends.
Right.
I mean, that's how legit he is.
With the track he's on, MLB Pipeline has him at 65 right now.
No, it's going
so he could easily go up 40 spots.
It's going to go up a few spots tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
10. I mean, what is he striking out? Two guys for every inning?
Let's see here.
I mean, it's exactly the type of guy that
last three starts, 27 strikeouts.
And how many innings?
Last three starts, he's got 13 innings.
Yeah, so he's striking out more than two guys an inning.
Yeah.
That's special stuff. That's dominant. That's top of the rotation type stuff from him, and it's very exciting. And that's why not. And I don't want to get into a super big picture conversation today, but that's why Jed Hoyer will be around in 2024. He's going to see out this stuff. And that may be eye-rolling to a lot of people, and it should be, because the big league product is absolutely a joke. But this kid is something, and I think I may watch his next start live.
I'd like to go to a game.
Nah, I'm not going to that. I'm not doing that. They don't deserve that.
You're not going to South Bend.
No. Not when this team is this bad. No.
So 10 strikeouts and no walks in 5 innings for High A South Bend on Wednesday. he opened the year at low A in Myrtle Beach, pitched well. And the last 3 starts at high A, 13 innings, 9 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 27 strikeouts. Fastball up to 97. He's got a plus curveball, plus slider. And like I mentioned earlier, 20 swinging strikes on Wednesday. This was a kid who drafted first round by the Cubs last year, but didn't log a lot of innings at Oklahoma.
No, he was a reach. It was a reach, people thought.
For a few different reasons. And yeah, but I remember simultaneously, Sam, it was a reach, but also there were some that were like,
Buzz.
Hey, he's good.
Yeah, right.
And he's already number 2 in the Cubs system overall, 65 in baseball. And this is someone to really highlight. And the Cubs currently, I would say, have 4 elite pitching prospects with 1 at each of the 4 levels. So Horton's at high A. And then Ben Brown, who we've discussed before, is at triple A. He's got a 2.63 ERA with 70 strikeouts and 48 innings this year. Jordan Wicks is at double A. And then Jackson Ferris has allowed barely anything with 17 strikeouts and 14 innings at low A Myrtle Beach already.
Yep.
So Horton, Brown, Wicks, and Ferris, a pretty good nucleus on the bump there.
Yeah, and I always say this, like the Reds had something, around this with Hunter Green and Ashcraft and Lodolo and, all these guys. You want to be, there's always a lot of risk with young pitching prospects, which is why Theo liked to stay away from it. He'd rather just get finished products.
Right.
It can get ugly quickly. You could have injuries quickly. So I wouldn't sit there and say, hey, in 2025 opening day, those 4 guys are going to be the 4. It's probably not going to work like that. But it is something that's exciting and one of the few things that is exciting about this organization right now. And I think Horton's on another level. I really do. He just fits the bill. I don't think he's going to be at high A for long.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So, next step would be double A Tennessee and maybe a couple more starts?
Yeah, I mean,
At their all-star break, I would guess.
Yeah, I don't think there's a need to rush anything. Like, I say finish the year at double A this year, and then if he starts out well next year in double A, maybe to triple A and go from there. I don't think, there's no rush. This season's a lost cause at the big league levels. No reason to rush. But, okay. It's coming. The promotion's coming.
Right. One other person I think could get promoted at their affiliates all-star break is Pete Crow-Armstrong.
You think he's close?
Yeah, I think you could see just a natural promotion point this, next month. So still probably 5 or 6 weeks out. But PCA has 3 homers in his last 4 games.
Yeah.
Now slashing 278, 345, 513.
Yeah.
So a little bit lighter than you would want, but he's been excellent defensively. That's been proven. And then just some counting stats here: 8 homers, 7 doubles, 3 triples, and 13 stolen bases.
Yeah.
But it's just someone to keep an eye on because I think just in the last 7 days, there's been some steam that he's attracted a little bit more recently with his play.
Yeah, I'd like to see him master a couple more things offensively before we rush to AAA because you don't want a Brennan Davis situation.
What's going on with him?
I think he just got IL'd today. He might be.
He's hitting in the 100s.
Yeah, no. So, but good stuff from PCA. Those are your minor league centerpieces. A lot of people said deep system lacks a top level prospect. I think the Cubs have 2 of them.
Wow, that's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So PCA and Horton.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Let's see what happens with Ben Brown. He's adjusted a little bit to AAA. I'd like to know when he pitches next. Maybe it's got to be coming up.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, let's get to the fun stuff.
Well, the Cubs did play a baseball game on Wednesday, and they lost to the Angels. We'll explain what happened and also go over some road trip stats. Stay tuned. Today's episode is presented by Bird Dogs.
Bird Dogs.
The best shorts and pants that you've ever worn, Sam.
No, I know that.
Boy, these things are comfortable.
They make my legs look big, and you know what I mean? They're not. So
right. Fit, comfort, versatility.
Flex them,
you might be hitting the weight room, hitting the treadie, and Bird Dogs is going to make your legs stand out even more. The thing about these shorts and pants is they're great to go to a game, maybe a summer picnic, maybe you're going fishing, maybe you're going to a country concert or a concert really of any music genre. And you could do that with Bird Dogs shorts and pants. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnMLB and enter promo code LockedOnMLB for a free Yeti style tumbler with your order. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you. The Cubs inexplicably play the Angels at 8:38 p.m. Central Thursday, and you can listen to every pitch with the Cubs hometown broadcast on Sirius XM, on the SXM app, search Cubs, or tune into channel 844 and catch the Cubs all season long on Sirius XM. I say inexplicably because they're by far the latest game on Thursday. The game ahead of them is a 6:10 first pitch. That might be done by the time the Cubs play. So Cubs might get some attention from baseball fans across the country on Thursday, if anyone cares about that.
No.
The Cubs have lost 3 straight games. Once again, this is the 47th time they've done that this year. And they've also lost a series as they've dropped the first 2 to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. We're close to a final score for the sake of full transparency. Here as we record. Angels lead right now 6-2, top 9. Cubs haven't mustered a rally at all.
Well, the bats have been active. They have 3 hits, so.
Yeah, they led 2-1 in the 5th, but they're going to lose this game and fall to 26-35 in the campaign.
Oof.
Their last scoring threat was in the top of the 6th as flamethrower Ben Joyce walked the bases loaded, but the Cubs failed to play to run. Then it conveniently unraveled in the bottom half of that inning when the Angels tacked on 4 of their runs. Tyone hit a wall in that 6th inning, but he also went 100-plus pitches for some reason, which was surprising. He finished with 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. And then Mark Leiter Jr. was hit around 2 runs on 2 hits while walking 1, and he also allowed an inherited run. Another loss for the Cubs.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Look, as far as the game goes, it went exactly like they've all went. It came down to 2 high leverage situations, one for the Cubs offense, one for the Cubs pitching. They failed in both, and it's a 4-run difference. Bases loaded, 2 outs, can't score. First and second, 1 out, can't score. Then in the bottom half of the inning, like you said, first and second, 2 outs, they score. Bases loaded, 2 outs, they clear the bases. That's what the game comes down to. We break down all these different stats, all these different types of analytics. Most of the time, the game's going to come down to 1 or 2 situations, and then the rest of it doesn't matter. And the Cubs fail in those situations over and over again. If my tone sounds apathetic to you, it's because it is. Yesterday's show was probably the last time you're going to hear me really vent or rant unless something egregious happens, because I've accepted it. They stink.
Right.
I thought they'd be better. I did. They're not. I'm going to lose money. I bet the over 75.5. They're not going to hit that. They are probably worse than last year at this point. And a lot of changes may be happening. But what I'm going to do is I'm married to this team for better or for worse. So I'll be watching the games. I'll be looking at things like Horton. I'll be looking at things like PCA at the top tier, at the big league club. It's a dumpster fire. You're going to tell me some stats about the middle of the order. I mean, this team's built around 4 guys that aren't even that good. Those 4 guys in an ideal situation offensively are nice pieces to your team. I feel like I'm repeating everything I repeated before the core left, right? I said that about the core. At the end of the core years, those guys are pieces. They're not centerpieces. the Cubs, they don't do anything well, Matt. They're offensively, they're awful. Defensively, they're awful. Their starting pitching's okay because of Stroman and Steele. And Smiley's been fine. Their bullpen is a disaster. Their manager's a disaster. Their body language is a disaster. Everything's a disaster. So honestly, I'm just – and we have the beautiful pleasure to talk about it every day. I'm not going to lie to you. I watched the first 5 innings I gamecasted today. I was watching the finals.
Right. Yeah, it's been definitely a major shift in many of our attitudes as we, watch our favorite ball club.
That game's final now, by the way, 6-2 Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
And Horner and Swanson, I think, are going to be on the next good Cubs team if there is one. But
yeah, you're not sure about the middle two, huh?
Happ and Suzuki are just pitiful right now.
Yeah,
and I know Bernstein and Holmes are going to tell me whenever the heck Happ is on next, they're going to ask him about accepting his walks, which is unreal for the biggest sports station in the number 3 market to ask a player that's struggling mightily about his walks.
Yeah.
But Happ, this road trip is 3 for 18. He does have 7 walks, 4 strikeouts, but 3 for 18.
How many homers does he have this trip?
Homer? This trip?
0.
He hasn't homered since May 5th. Cinco de Mayo, dude.
Can I say something real quick about Happ?
Go ahead. It could be long if you want. He doesn't have to be quick.
Ian Happ, when he came into the league and got sent back down, had he was a classic launch angle hitter that had tons of power and tons of swing and miss in his game. And what he did is he shrunk that swing and miss last year, but in doing so, he sacrificed a lot of power and now hits a lot of ground balls. And this version of a hitter is just not good enough. I'd rather have the old Ian Happ. I mean, they need more power on this team.
They're desperate for power.
Last year, he had 17 homers.
Right.
In 2021, he had 25. Last year he had 17. This year he's going to hit like 12. He's just a very average player if he's hitting that amount of homers. And we talk about his season last year like it was so great. He was 271, 342, 440 with a 781 OPS. This year he's better coming into today. 271, 393, 400. That's just a very fine outfielder. And if that's who he is at his price, fine, but it's not good enough. Get to the cleanup hitter now.
Seiya Suzuki on the road trip is now 1 for 23 with 11 strikeouts.
Did you get his last out in the 9th?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yikes.
Yeah.
1 for 23, and the hit was an infield hit.
Yeah, no, he's
that's one of the worst trips in Cubs history. 1 for 23?
I'm officially
There's still 4 more games on this trip.
I'm officially out on Seiya Suzuki being a star. I think he could be a nice player. He's not a star. I mean, and by the way, the thing about Happ and Suzuki is this is what bothers me so much about Cubs, about a lot of the Cubs people that cover the team. These guys will have huge Augusts when they're out. And, oh, baby, look at them. They're putting it together. Who cares? Season's over. We needed you guys to produce on this trip because we're in trouble. And great players, star players, bail you out when you're in trouble. Nikola Jokic tonight in a big win on the road at 32, 21, and 10. He doesn't wait till a meaningless game on Christmas Day to produce. You know what I mean? It's the big show. These guys, I think, Horner, Swanson, Happ, and Suzuki are all above average major leaguers. I think all of them could be good pieces on a team. None of them, and I mean none of them, are stars. And the Cubs need to find some guys. They need to find some more production offensively because this lineup they're running out there.
Oh, maybe they could promote David Bodie. Is there some magic in his bat at all? He's in Des Moines. Nick Madrigal's hitting 500 in Des Moines.
Enough of the jokes.
Well,
you know
I'd
what
like
I mean?
people to laugh. Enough
of the jokes. People are going to think you're serious.
You know what's really bugged me today is
the fact that we do a show every day about a team that could have been good and they're the worst team in the NL. Is that what bugs you?
Well, yeah, actually, in a way, because you said for today, for Wednesday. I don't care what day it is anymore, dude.
Yeah, me neither.
On the last show we did, you said
David
it's really
Bodie's.
not. It's really not an 162 game season for the
No, it
Cubs.
never is. It never is.
And I counted it. The All-Star break, which is when you're going to know for sure if you're buying or selling. 89 games this year. Really, it wasn't even that much.
Well, see, it's done
It
now.
was really just April and May.
Yeah, it's April, May. It's all you needed.
So
It's
about
Memorial Day. It's the Memorial Day checkpoint.
About 55, 56 games, dude.
Bodie's hitting 242 at the AAA level this year.
Yeah. Well, he could. Yeah, but he might come up and might find lightning in a bottle. You know.
I feel so bad for two people out there, Matthew Cozy and Sam Olber.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna keep. We're gonna.
It's gonna be like deja vu, man. We got to do a big celebration for our 1-year anniversary, and it's gonna be so bad.
I'd like to do a show on location.
No, but what's so sad is it's gonna be a 1-year anniversary. We got a worse team.
It's the same crap when we signed up with this network.
We really thought we signed in at a perfect time, and by this time they'd be rolling. We got another year before that, maybe 6.
In June 8th? Yeah.
As De La Cruz hit a ball almost out of Cincinnati today.
He almost hit one to Kentucky.
Well, the Reds and Brewers both won, and the Cardinals won. We're 1.5 games up on the worst from the worst record in the NL.
Yeah, which they held before. They held it a couple weeks ago when I was at your place. So
help!
Well, we're gonna do some. We're gonna do some trivia after this.
I'm drowning.
Welcome back to Locked On Cubs. Thanks for making us your first listen. Just a little bit of trivia at the end of the show. I wasn't sure how much time the show would take. We're already past the time that we need.
Can I answer with whatever?
In 2000, the Cubs almost traded. Oh, I'm doing this because I think the Cubs are going to be sellers. Breaking news. In 2000, the Cubs almost traded Sammy Sosa to what team, Sam?
What kind of trivia question is that?
Well, that's a real question.
Is that like a real thing?
There's online reports about this from the Trib and the Sun-Times. They were actually super transparent back then. Where actually Andy McPhail was quoted.
The Yankees.
Yes. Yeah. The Yankees. So that's going to be our show for today.
Wait, can I say one more thing?
Sure.
End it.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah, I was just gonna.
You would regret it, you think?
Oh, it's not inappropriate.
Oh.
I'm just.
It's unnecessary, maybe.
I'm sorry. I just feel bad for everybody that we have to go through this, and we're gonna do our best to make light of it. But it just.
No, stick with us. Be with us during this time, troubling time.
Yeah, what I would recommend doing, clip this. I'll clip it. What I would recommend doing.
Take a Tums.
No. What I would recommend doing, stop watching Marquee, stop going to the games, and after the game, just give us a watch. We'll catch you up, and then you can move on. It's the best for everybody.
That sounds good.
Don't waste your time watching them. They don't deserve that, but we do.
Yeah, don't enhance the rating number if you don't have to.
My allergies are getting bad, man.
Well, what do you mean? Starting in mid-June, the pollen goes away.
Well, I've been sneezing all day.
Okay, well.
I'm not clipping that. Whatever.
Well, no, I even paused a second so you could clip it.
Oh, all right.
It's up to you, dude. Shout out to the everydayers who are with us. You probably don't want to rub your eyes and nose on camera, dude.
No, I'm sorry. I'm having a problem.
We're with us all by
I'm about to sneeze. I'm about to sneeze, and I can't.
And you could become an everydayer by checking us out each and every weekday.
And I don't want to sneeze.
Well, we have a mute button on StreamYard.
I know, but I can't. It's one of those where I have to. It's not coming.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button for Locked On Cubs on YouTube, and please smash the like button for the algorithm during these trying times. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your pods on the audio side, and we're streaming excitedly on SiriusXM. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
Oh.